Hello, welcome to Geoff Schwartz, Smarter Than You. Today's episode. Oh, that's way too fast. I got so excited. That's a bad. That's just like an inappropriate start.
Take two.
Keeping this in.
You probably should as a cold open. All right, 3, 2, 1. Hello, welcome to Geoff Schwartz, Smarter Than You. Today's episode of Geoff Schwartz, Smarter Than You is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Today is Thursday, August 14th. I'm Geoff Schwartz. That is Matt Ford. Matt, we have done it. We've done two things. One, we have made it through the offseason. It's now time to talk about football from here to the end of February. But secondly, for those who have been here for, I think, 7 years now, 6 years now, you heard that right. We are presented by DraftKings. We have done it. We have a sponsor. Congratulations to all of us. You guys behind the scenes did a lot of the work. I appreciate it. I'm very excited for this partnership, Matt, as we go through the shows from here until the end of the season. Every odds we give you from DraftKings, I use them regularly, as we know. How are you feeling about this, Matt? I feel like you're very excited, just as I am.
I'm thrilled. We're honored to be part of this team with DraftKings and Metal Arc Media, where you can find the show. We'll talk to you more about that in a moment. Yeah, we're fired up, and I can't believe it's finally football season, and it's time. Here we go. This is like we're just like back and right in the middle of the swing of things here. We're doing one of our favorite formats here. We're putting down our futures. This is the best part of my week. Let's go.
So let me explain a little bit about what's new and not new about the show. And we'll talk about the format we've done now for years to preview every division in the National Football League. So we put out episodes on Tuesdays and Thursdays from now to the end of the football season. So we're going from one back to twice a week. I love this format we're going with. Podcast, same feed as always. Geoff Schwartz is Smarter Than You, wherever you get your podcast. We're going to have a feed up on YouTube as well. And we're going to be on social media as we normally are. Video episodes will be on Meadowlarks Media, their new YouTube channel. It's at Football America Show. So you can find the video there. I think you can find the video still on other social media feeds as well. It's going to be everywhere. Also subscribe to get notified whenever we drop a new episode. I've asked you this for years now, Matt. Subscribe everywhere. YouTube, on the podcast platform of choice. Leave a rating, leave a review, leave a comment. I'll go ahead and answer some of those comments on YouTube if you have questions about things that you heard in the show. So I think I did the housekeeping there, buddy. So we can get to now.
Can I say one thing, Geoff?
Anything? Yes.
So if you're a listener of this show, if you're listening to this episode, you probably, and you listen to Tuesday's episode with Gabe in my seat, you've probably supported this show for a while. The best thing that you can do to help us, quite honestly, is like the show, subscribe, leave comments, hit us on social media. But like YouTube, honestly, is like where you can make the biggest impact. Thanks for sticking with us, and we're super excited to launch this new partnership and get this thing going.
Thank you. That's why Matt is on the business side. I just talk into a microphone very loudly, as my kids say all the time. What do you do? What does Daddy do? He just yells into his computer all day. Fair enough, Matt. You'll get one day to be roasted by your son. So, all right, here's the format that we're bringing this back. We've done it every year. We're going to do it now in partnership with DraftKings. So all the odds you hear from this show and moving forward will be available on DraftKings. Of course, odds are always subject to change, so make sure that you pay attention to what we're giving you and also what might be available at the time you listen. Also very important here. So the next 4 weeks, we have 4 weeks to then start the NFL season. We do have preseason games, but we're not going to talk about those very much. We're going to go through every division. There's 8 divisions. We're going to do 2 an episode, maybe 1 depending on how the schedule is going to work out, Matt. And what we're going to do is we're going to invest $10,000 total over the 8 divisions, and spending at least $1,000 in each division on any sort of prop we like, future we like. It could be anything we like. The only stipulations are $1,000 per division, and then 1 wager per team. So even if there's a team that we don't like or we don't think is going to do very much this season, we will include a prop. Maybe in the NFC East, we're doing the East today, the AFC East and NFC East. Maybe it's Giants' worst record. We will find something to put down in the ledger. And I like this format, Matt. We had a lot of fun with this. We've had over the years some wagers that we make no matter what, and that is running back unders. I think it cost us a little bit last season. There were not a lot of injuries last year, so I'm curious if we go back to that. But let's start in the NFC East, the home of the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, man. If in case that was just too much for you, we're making a bunch of bets. We're going to track them on social. This is not a math podcast. This is a football podcast. I'm not going to be able to do a minus 110 payout on $150 on without the help of a calculator. So if you want to know like the exact dollar amounts and stuff, we'll post all this stuff on Geoff's social, on wherever we can.
Yes.
But basically, like, use this as a guide to sort of help you figure out your bets. We are not going to have amazing conviction on every single team, but we are going to have some really interesting angles. And let's start with the defending champs. So Philadelphia, their total is 11.5. They're actually getting some juice on the under. That's minus 130 to go under. There's a lot of ways, it seems like people are still pretty bullish on them.
Yeah.
Where are you on the defending champs? What sort of jumps out to you when we look at all of the things that we could bet on?
Well, just a general overview of them, right? I don't believe they're going to have this Super Bowl hangover that people talk about often when it comes to and I'll explain why. One, look, Jalen Hurts said he never touched a Super Bowl ring. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't, Matt. But that's the attitude this team has, where it's on to the next one. It's a great attitude to have. Look, if I won a Super Bowl, I'm sure I touch the ring and celebrate with it, but it's on to the next one. You get the ring so late, like you get it in late June when you win in February, so like they're already on to 2025. So that mindset goes a long way to preparing for a season after a Super Bowl. And the other thing that I think just structurally, when you run the ball and stop the run and rush the passer, you're never going to have a down season. You just aren't, assuming everyone's healthy, obviously, right? And the way they play football is winning football. That wins every single season. And yes, they have some new guys on the defensive line, edge rusher, but interior, they have two big monsters in the middle, right? The offensive line is really good. Barkley, obviously, Hurts, what he can do with his legs and passing the football. So to me, structurally, Matt, they're not made to have, in my opinion, a big drop-off.
Yeah. The thing that's working against them, I think, have you looked at their schedule?
Because no, but a schedule's hard for everybody.
Sure, but like listen to how they start. And there's a point to this. They have Dallas at home week 1 on the Thursday. Then they go to Kansas City. Then they have the Rams, Tampa, who beat them last year in the regular season. Then Denver, who everybody likes, at Giants, at Minnesota, then the Giants again. So they get the Giants out of the way early, which isn't necessarily helpful. You would probably rather play them later in the season, but we'll get to the Giants and how bad their schedule is too. But one of the things that's so interesting about the Eagles is like you mentioned their play style. They're so good when they're ahead, right? Like they're so good when they're getting it in front of the chains. They're so good when they can just hand the ball off 40 times a game to Barkley. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that quite as much. So I think the way that I'd like to play the Eagles is a lot of Jalen Hurts passing props. I just think they're going to throw more. I think the defense, you mentioned there's just going to be a little bit of change. Like, they've got 2 new guys in the secondary that are projected to start potentially. They're going to have to figure out their edge rush situation. Like, I don't think they're going to and they started the season 2-2 last year, right? Like they didn't come out of the gate like smoking hot. So I think that the play for them might be Jalen Hurts on DraftKings for over 3,500 passing yards is plus 150.
By the way, I see 3,200 for him.
Yeah, you can go to there's a thing that's like to go over 3,500 yards. It's in a different tab, I think, than just straight up over.
You do a plus money one.
I'm going exotic. Oh yeah, I'm going exotic.
Oh, right away. Okay, plus money. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it's better odds than the minus 110. So to go over 3,500 passing yards last year, he only threw for 2,900, obviously because they were handing the ball off so much. But he was also hurt for a bit of a stretch.
They're also winning every game.
They were winning.
The previous 2 years, he threw for over 3,500 yards.
Correct. So I think we get some good value there. So that would be the way I would play that. Yeah, over 3,500 yards plus 150.
Okay. So that I like that idea because if you think they're not going to be ahead as much into games, plus teams look, I mean, the Chiefs showed, like, I know you don't want to probably win this way, but they said like we're going to shut down Barkley and make Hurts be the guy, and it worked. It worked for Eagles.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's a great way to go about it, but I could see that being something that teams just try to do. Plus, look, we're not bet. I'm not betting Saquon Barkley's under, Matt. I think that just
Yeah.
I don't.
What's the fun in that?
Yeah,
You're basically rooting
just,
for an injury, I feel like.
Right. Correct. Which I don't want to do.
Yeah.
But again, if he does get hurt, which by the way, I mean, he's had a propensity in his career to get hurt, Hurts will have a load to throw the football more. So I like this, Matt. I like this alternate number here. The other one I want to play for Philly, Lane Johnson win Protector of the Year at plus 750.
That's
so
fun.
The Protector of the Year award is brand new in the NFL. It's voted on by a panel of 6 former players. Okay. Well, Charles Bentley, Sean O'Hara, Jason Kelsey, Whitworth, Will Shields, and I think Orlando Pace. Those are the 6 off the top of my head. And I think what's going to happen is they're going to value Lane Johnson's pass protecting skills more than the all pro voters do. Because I think what the difference between Lane Johnson and Penei Sewell is Lane's a much better pass protector. And that should weigh more heavily in a discussion of who the best lineman, especially at tackle. Like Lane can run block, but he's also like the best pass protector in the NFL. So I think Lane plus 750, and also too, this could be like a lifetime achievement sort of thing too. Like first year, let's give it to Lane Johnson. So I think plus 750 is really good right now, especially because Penei Sewell keeps getting steamed down. Like I'm just, to me, I'm still taking Lane. I mean, Penei is now at 450. He was 650 when this started. So I like Lane here at 750 to win Protector of the Year award.
I love that. Great insight. Is it a little bit strange that Kelsey retired a year ago? Like his teammates are potentially up for this award. Like
that's
that
great,
feels a little
right?
like insider trading, no?
That's great. That's why it's another reason why I love it.
Yeah, it's a good point. You'd think that. I mean, the only chance I think potentially that could work against him is Mailata, who's I think his odds are plus 1,200, so he's fourth.
Mailata is not as good as people want him to be.
Yeah, and I think Lane Johnson over the years, like people have come to appreciate him. I think probably because he's been on the right side, and he I don't know, like he wasn't universally regarded as one of the best until like pretty recently. So I agree. It could be just sort of like, Martin Scorsese won the Oscar for The Departed. Like that wasn't his best movie, but like it was time. Like he needed to win something.
Correct.
So I could see that. I'll add one more. I think this is sort of the same point, but Devontae Smith's over for receiving yards. This is just a straight over his yards. It's 850.5. I think that's a pretty easy over. He had career lows in targets and receiving yards last year. But he still had 833 receiving yards. He missed 4 games. AJ Brown had an awesome year, and I felt like he was just never really right, even when he was on the field.
Minus 110.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be a nice opportunity there.
So what we're going to do is we've written these down, and we can go back at the end of the division and figure out what we're doing here, right? Because we might not play all these, so we'll just sort of write these down as we continue to go here. So far for the Eagles, I think we're on Hurts on over 3,500 yards as an alt at plus 150. Lane Johnson, Protector of the Year, plus 750. Devontae Smith, over 850.5 for receiving yards for the Eagles. All right, buddy. Let's go to your team.
Oh man,
Washington Commanders.
If you're new to the show, this is my team. I was long suffering and basically just I don't know. I had like a rebirth on air on this show last year as the Commanders whisked me to dreamland, making it to the NFC Championship. Their win total is set to 9.5. That's moved around a bit this offseason. They are minus 155 to make the playoffs, plus 125 to miss, and plus 205 to win the division. The Eagles were minus 130. What's your play on the Commanders? Do you think that they are destined to regress after a magical year last year?
Okay, so it's a great question. I'm going to say this a couple times as we preview these teams. Okay, so just it's important to listen to what I'm saying here. I think that the Commanders might be a better team, but might not have as good of a record.
Okay,
because they play better opponents. I know it sounds weird. Oh, the way they don't have as many wins, but Like, I think just they're going to be good again this year. I don't buy the idea of a sophomore slump for Jayden Daniels just because CJ Stroud had one. That's basically everyone's analysis, right? Oh, Stroud had one.
It's insane,
That means that
dude.
and the reason why I don't believe in that is a couple things. One is Jayden Daniels is better than CJ Stroud. Just is. He's a better quarterback, better passer of the football, better runner of the football. I think he's just a bit. There was a clip I saw on TikTok of it was a Daniels highlight. I think it was after you probably texted me, like, I'm watching Jay Daniels highlights all the time, and my phone just picked up the algorithm and popped it in my feed for me. The throw he made against the Bengals on, was it Thursday Night Football, Monday Night Football,
Monday
early in the
night.
season,
Yeah, it was like
to win
week
the
2 or
game,
3.
like, holy heck, he got hit like right under the ribs. Like, what? It's just, he's an incredible player. Commanders went 12-5, like a legitimately good team last season, right?
Yeah.
And so their schedule this year is tougher. That's what happens when you have a really tough division and you play a second place schedule essentially, right? And they believe they play the West this year, the AFC West. So you're adding in, the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Broncos, a better Raiders team. I like the Laremy Tunsil move. Another thing about the Commanders too, is this podcast has given Cliff Kingsbury a lot of grief over the years. He deserves credit for last season. He got better throughout that season. And it's a better offensive design than what Stroud had in Houston. Like Kingsbury's not getting fired after the season for lack of success. He's going to get a promotion, to be a head coach somewhere next season. So I think everything is set up for them to be a better team, I think, but maybe not have the same record as last season.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, and by the way, they could still have 10 wins, go over their total, and still not have the same record as last season. You mentioned the sophomore slump thing. And by the way, like, if you're tuning into the show for the first time, you're probably not dying to hear my takes on anything. But I gotta talk about this team a little bit. The sophomore slump thing, I just want to say, like, Lamar Jackson won the MVP his sophomore year. So did Patrick Mahomes. Like, sophomore slump, like, CJ Stroud is not the universal experience of sophomore quarterbacks. One of the things that I think people just aren't really pricing into Washington, like, yes, their schedule is harder, but like when I actually read to you like their first 7 weeks, like Giants, Packers, Raiders, Falcons, Chargers, Bears, Cowboys, like, yeah, they have Philly twice later in the year, but one of them's week 18. That game might not even have anything on the line. They have Kansas City. They have Detroit, who they, if you remember, beat in the playoffs last season to go to the NFC Championship. I remember that.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, that is what happened. Their schedule is harder because they don't have to play Will Levis and the Browns and the Panthers and all that, but it's not like they haven't proven themselves. But I just think there's no way that the defense doesn't get a bit better this year. And I think that people have sort of like, people are saying like, well, they lost all these key pieces. It's like, who did they lose exactly? Like, are people like, is Dante Fowler like a significant loss? Like, I'm sorry. I think, they added a second round corner who's probably going to start in Trey Amos. They added 2 new faces on the defensive line. Everyone's already assuming Javon Kinlaw is just like a bust. Like, I just think that a Dan Quinn defense in year 2 is just going to be better. And I don't think people are really considering that. I think they're talking a lot about like how the defense stinks and the offense is going to regress. And I'm not sure either is true. So I'm not like going to stand on the table and say like, oh, you got to go over. Like, this team is going to win the Super Bowl. Like, no, I don't think so. But I don't think that any of the like conventional narratives about this team like actually make any sense.
So why I don't think they're gonna have a sophomore slump.
Yeah.
And so I'm of the opinion that now look, we're gonna have, I think, very few team win total over and unders in this exercise. There's not a lot of value in them right now. I don't think Washington's an over team for me, Matt. I like other things when it comes to Washington. But if they win 10 games again, it would not surprise me.
Yeah. And I think, I think one of the things we'll try to do, if you go to on DraftKings, if you go to on the wins tab, there's a regular season wins, and you go through every team and you can like find like the exact win total that you want. It's insane. But I think with Washington and a lot of these teams, like I think if you wanted to play Phillies over, you might want to take like one of these alternate spreads. Like if you're a buyer in Washington, like I'd look at them over 10.5 plus 150 instead of minus 125 at 9.5. If you're a fader of them, like you think Jayden Daniels is like going to stink this year, like go under 8.5 for plus 160, like there's some really good ways to play that. I think my favorite bet for Washington, we're recording this and Terry McLaurin still hasn't signed. Hopefully by the time you hear this, that will have changed. But But I think a decent way to play, like maybe he misses a little bit of time or he just needs a few weeks, is Zach Ertz to go over 5 receiving touchdowns. You can find that on DraftKings at plus 150. Ertz and Daniels have like quite a connection. When it was crunch time in the playoffs and the games were on the line, he looked at Ertz. Obviously, like, you know, Ertz isn't necessarily the most durable guy out there, but last year 7 touchdowns. And he is, I think, the primary red zone guy for them. So I do think that would be a nice way to play this Terry McLaurin sort of this holdout. What do you think of that play?
Well, what's the number? What's the number on that?
It's over 5.
Yeah.
It's like 5+, and the number is plus 150.
Okay. I have not studied Ertz like you have, so I trust you on that one. You can do a. Why is the East down? Where's the East at? There we go. You can do a Eagles Commanders to finish 1-2 in the East at plus 160.
Not bad.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get to the Cowboys in a second. That's an idea. It feels too easy. This division has not had a repeat winner now, Matt, in like 20 years. So it feels a tad easy just to put that in there. It's the same result as last season. This is also, by the way, where we start playing our running back unders. So Brian Robinson's under 725.5.
Hell yeah.
In his career, he's rushed for 797, 733, 799. He has never played a full season in the NFL. Last year, he only started 13 games. The year before that, in 2023, when they were bad, he started 15 games, only got 733 yards, and then nine starts in his rookie season. So I think, look, this number was probably 775 2 months ago, but we have to play now. And so Brian Robinson under 725.5, I have locked in for us.
Lock that in. And in your fantasy drafts, make sure to take Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, who will be the Washington starting running back next year. Then Hank, our producer, who's also a Commanders fan, is flipping out. Geoff, we've gone long on the first 2 teams. It's my team and the Super Bowl champs. Why don't we take a break for the podcast here, and then we can pick up the pace for the rest of these teams.
You got it. I got it. We got it.
All right. Why don't we move on to Dallas? One of the most confusing lines. Every time I feel like I look at their win total, Geoff, it's a different number. Right now, as we record, 8.5 is the number. The under is juiced to minus 145, plus 120 if you go over.
You can get over 7.5 at minus 160, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, all these, it's basically 8.5 is, you know, what we'd call like the default. They are plus 180 to make the playoffs. And a crazy plus 550 to win the division. That's like almost like what the Titans are to win the AFC South, for some perspective there. So Dallas, polarizing team. Where are you? Are they a playoff contender, or are they about to bottom out?
I like over 7.5 minus 160. I'm okay paying a little bit of juice on some of these win totals, Matt. Here's why. So when I evaluate rosters, right, as we head into the season, I want to see how many game records you have, right? How many guys like they can ruin games for opponents? Like how many guys are people game planning for? Dak Prescott, wherever you think of him, when he plays, he wins. He just has, right? So he's one of those guys. CeeDee Lamb is certainly one of those guys, right? George Pickens is a maybe on that list, right? One of the offensive linemen, Smith is a guy that I'd highlight. And then defensively, Parsons, obviously, who I think is going to come back and play, obviously. Overshown's back from injury, but still an elite level, not elite level player, but a good player, right? So guys, it's a roster that has, even guys secondary, that has a lot of good players, Matt. I don't know if I trust Brian Schottenheimer to be honest, but you're never getting the Cowboys at 7.5 wins. That never happens. Like they're always a team that's overinflated, overvalued. And I just think that with their schedule this season and everyone back healthier, including Parsons, it's a very doable schedule. It's the Jets, the Panthers are on the schedule, the Cardinals, the Vegas Raiders, the Chargers, the Giants twice. Like it's very doable.
Yeah, I agree. This is a hard one to cap because it's like you're sort of just saying, is Dak going to be healthy for the whole season? If Dak's healthy, this line is like kind of a joke. Like this is there aren't that many teams that could just say like, yeah, we have a quarterback good enough to just get you 10 wins. The other question you mentioned, Schottenheimer, like McCarthy's teams, like they were not good last year. They were a travesty for most of the year, and they lost their quarterback in the 3rd or 4th week of the season. They finished 7-10, and like the last game of the season was against my team. They fought to the end. It was a last-second win in a meaningless Week 18 game. Like Mike McCarthy had that team fighting, and now it's like Brian Schottenheimer and Matt Eberflus. Like those are the kind of names that make you go, "Ooh, we're taking the over with these guys." Like, what are we doing here? Obviously, I think the narrative with them this year, of course, is going to be they're going to be throwing a lot, and they still don't have a running game. So Dak, you would think, would be just back in the pocket a lot, and they're underdogs in 11 games, which seems crazy because like their schedule isn't that tough, but like they should, against all these teams, like be throwing the ball a lot against Philly, Detroit, Kansas City, etc. So maybe the play is to play Dak like pretty, with some of his numbers. Like I don't exactly really know how to bet this team because it's sort of like if Dak's healthy, sure. Like maybe the play is to just win the division plus 550. It's not inconceivable. Make the playoffs plus 180. Like those are pretty good numbers. If you think that Dallas can get to 9 or 10, like why not?
Yeah. So how about here's an interesting play here. So Dak Prescott to lead the division in passing yards at minus 140.
Huh. Yeah, I mean that's
but the problem is we also have Hurts going over 3,500. So that's why those are probably like cancel each other out.
Yeah.
So I don't think we could play that, but it's interesting at minus 140. I just like the Cowboys just straight up over 7.5 wins. That feels like the easiest one to put in there for us. And maybe Javonte Williams under 500 rushing yards.
I mean, who else is going to get them? Are we a Jayden Blue podcast? Maybe. Hank liked George Pickens to score 8 or more touchdowns in the regular season.
I don't trust George Pickens at all.
That would be a career high, and like I get that I get that Leon's going to get a lot of the attention. I wonder, there's one guy who I think people are kind of sleeping on is Jake Ferguson. He was hurt all last year. They just paid him, and I think that like he's one of those guys that everyone just kind of forgets about. Let me look at him quickly. Over 550 receiving yards. Like that seems ridiculous. No.
What's he been at?
Last year he had 495, but he was like banged up for a lot of the season. The year before he had 71 for 760. Does Pickens pull away some receptions though? That's the question. I guess, but like he only has to go over 50 more yards, and I feel like he missed like half the season last year, or at least was banged up. You want to put that down as a maybe? Let's put it as a maybe. We don't need to go deep into tight end stats land. Yeah. Dak Prescott, comeback player of the year, plus 275. He is the favorite. I think that's an interesting one. I'll do this right now. I had a heavy price on DeMar Hamlin when comeback player of the year, and he did not. Yes, and I recall. If they don't award the comeback player to a guy that came back from death, Matt, I'm never playing this market again. Never doing it. I know they changed the guidelines. Even last year, he was clinically dead on the field. That's not known. God. He literally came back from being dead on a football field and didn't win comeback player of the year. I'm out on the market. I don't bet this market anymore. How can you have Joe Flacco just because he's old and didn't play half of one season and came in the middle of the year, be comeback player of the year? Come back from being on your couch too much? What did he come back from? Hanging with his family? He was bored with his family? What was his comeback? The choice was guy who died and came back to the NFL or guy who didn't play for half a season. Those were the two choices, Matt. Dude, I don't know. Joe Flacco, he brought he played some good ball. I mean, the problem with that, Geoff, was I'm going to say that was a you problem. You bet that one, I feel like, in mid-February. He was minus 300 for most of the season. I think, honestly, like you maybe negatively impacted the market there. Like, I feel like you were so early on it. You were like the first guy to buy Bitcoin, and you were like, I'm telling you, like, this is a lock. It's going to be worth $1 million. And then when it went down, you were just like, I can't believe it. And then, eventually, of course, you did look right. But yeah, that was a tough one. I don't know, man. Maybe Dak will get some sympathy. I'm not playing that market. Put it like that. All right, let's just quickly hit the Giants before we take a quick break, get to the NFC East, the AFC East here. So I have 2 Giants wagers I have made, Matt. And I'm going to tell them to you, and we can make them again for the podcast. Great. Giants under 5.5 wins.
already
Oof.
into the account. And then I have Giants have the worst record in the NFL at plus
Wow.
600.
From a
So
former Giants. Brutal.
let me explain here. I'm going to pull up the old NFL scheduling matrix right here to give you the Giants schedule. So I mentioned earlier about how I think that the Commanders are better, but might not have the same record. Actually, the Giants might and I think are in fact better than last season. Russell Wilson's an upgrade, healthy in the offensive line, defense is good. Add Abdul Carter, Malik Neighbors year two. I think Malik Neighbors and over for him in receiving yards is certainly interesting to me. I think he's gonna have a really big season this year. I think he's just a really good football player. Um, but their schedule, okay. Well, before I get to that, they were 1-8 last year in one score games. And a lot of times the next year you come back to the middle, right? 4-5, 5-4. So that would get them over that win total, right? Okay, so that makes sense, right? Um, but the problem is their schedule is so difficult. None of this is going to matter. So here's their schedule. You ready? It's at the Commanders week one, at the Cowboys week two. They then host the Chiefs and Chargers. They go the Saints. So that's hard, right? That's multiple playoff teams, very good football teams. Then New Orleans, and then the gauntlet comes, which you think like can be worse than playing the Commanders, Chiefs, and Chargers in a 3-game stretch. Eagles, Broncos at Denver, Philadelphia, Niners, Bears, Packers, Lions.
God, man, that is so brutal. Then Patriots,
So
then their bye week in week 14. Like their
and then, and
coach
then,
could be
and
out of
then
there
the,
by then.
and then the Commanders again, and then the Vikings with McCarthy having played 15 weeks, and the Raiders and the Cowboys. So I'm gonna ask you if we can play those for this as well. The only player prop I play for them is Neighbors over, but that worries me because what happens if Jackson Dart plays week 4? That just ruins everything.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like there's so much is going to be informed by who's their quarterback because they have this three-headed monster of Russ, Jameis, and Dart. I mean, they are a team where the bottom is very capable of falling out. Like I forgot they were 3-14 last year, Jeff. Like they were absolutely a train wreck. And you're right. Like they could if they're 0-6 or 0-5 going into Philly in week 6. Like I don't think they have Dable and Joe Shane have like a ton of credit left. So
No.
if everything were to go right, like if they had a soft schedule to start, like I kind of think I would believe in them a little, but I think your take is right. I think they're just facing this murderer's row and things could get ugly really in a hurry. So no objection from me there. Yeah, I don't have a ton to say about this team. I feel like I was really trying to come up with a good zag, but they really are only good at one thing, or two things, I guess, Malik Neighbors and their front seven. Like their front seven is going to be absolutely ridiculous. And, I'm assuming they think they can win some games like that, but tough sledding for the old G-men, buddy.
It is tough sledding. So now it's time to go over the wagers and pick which one we're going to do and then assign, obviously, the money that we're spending on this. And if I can convince my wife, it won't take a lot of convincing, I'm gonna play all these. So hey, hon, I'm going to take out $10,000 and play all these wagers that Matt and I are going to do. So she'll first ask who's Matt because that's what she doesn't know any of my friends ever.
Not Meredith.
Buddy,
come on,
buddy. It's so funny, dude. She just doesn't remember anyone. I worked with a guy in radio for 6 years, Sean O'Connell. He's coming to Charlotte next week, and I'm like, hey, hon, Sean's coming to Charlotte. Who's Sean? I just. I'm like Matt and Ivy. We went to dinner with them. We ate a pig in Spain.
We ate a pig. What happened?
Oh, them. Okay. We did eat a suckling pig, like for our dessert. Essentially, we had eaten a lot of food. Okay. So Hurts 3,500 passing yards. Lane Johnson protector. Devontae Smith over receiving yards. Robinson under. Ertz over touchdowns. Dallas over wins. Giants under wins. Giants worst record. So,
why don't we save the math for after the show? We'll figure it out. I think I buy all of those. Like maybe we'll go really big on one or two.
Okay, we could do math. We could do math after the show. It's fine. We're spending $1,000. That's all that matters.
Yes,
and we will. You know what we're going to do? We're going to force you guys to go to my social media at Geoff Schwartz. We're going to force you guys to go to the YouTube channel at Football America Show to see the end result of this because we'll include this in a graphic. So you have to go see what we put down these. But we're playing all these. I like all of them. We're going to play all of them. And that's our first division. If you're watching live or on YouTube, we aren't going anywhere. We take a little pause for the podcast audience. We'll be right back with the AFC East.
Perfect. Okay, Jeff. The AFC East, led by the multiple-time defending champ Buffalo Bills, their win total now 12 and a half, and it's plus
Yeah.
125 to go over, minus 150 to go under. Didn't realize till I looked at this today, they are the current co-Super Bowl favorites. People love the Bills, man. Minus 750 to make the playoffs, plus 500 to miss. I mean, are they just going to keep doing this forever? Like, I don't know how we bet against them, but is there any reason for a crack in the optimism for Buffalo?
Can I sell you on putting $1,000 on minus 310 for them to win the division?
This is such a Jeff Schwartz bet. This is the most Jeff Schwartzy of bets. This is DeMar Hamlin, comeback player of the year, minus 1,000 a year and a half before the award is given out. But okay, make your case.
Who's dethroning them off the division? I mean, there's one thing that happens. Josh Allen gets hurt.
Sure.
If Josh Allen gets hurt, then you just bet the Patriots or whoever else. Like I just who's the Jets are not ready for this at all, which is fine. They're not supposed to be ready for this right now.
Yep.
The Patriots, we'll talk about them in a few minutes. I don't buy them. I'm going to be very under on the Dolphins as we get to the Dolphins.
Yep.
I just don't see how they lose the division. I would say that just practically speaking, I know it's not a division game week 1. I believe it's Baltimore week 1. And if you just wait that game out, and if they lose, this number will come down, even though it's not a division game, Matt, just the way it works. People will be like, oh, the Bills aren't very good. I'm going to bet someone else. So you get a better number then. But like the Bills are not losing the division. You'd win roughly $300. I mean, again, you're betting 1,000, win 300. I'm not saying that's a great wager, but I don't mind something like this. I'm okay with the risk involved in this type of wager.
Yeah, it's a low interest CD for Buffalo to be better than the Patriots. I don't think it's the worst idea. I would be open to it for sure. I think.
Yeah.
I think with Buffalo, I mean, the other thing with Buffalo, when you like actually look, we've done schedule talk a lot. Like, listen to their start of the season. Baltimore, tough game, but it's home week 1. Baltimore every year has to play this tough week 1 game on the road. At Jets, Dolphins, Saints, Patriots, Falcons, week 7 bye. Like, what are they? 6-1, 7-0 at that point? Like, what a great start to the season for them. They have the Chiefs and the Eagles on their schedule later, but like no other like real juggernauts. I actually was thinking like maybe the play with them is like you could take them as the 1 seed for plus 190. We could take an alt total for their wins, but like they've never actually gone over 13 in their run with Josh Allen here. So
I thought the alt with the alt 13 and a half, but that's high. I think
that's
too
only
high.
plus 250. Like that's like
what's to be the 1 seed?
Amazing.
What's Bills to be the 1 seed?
They are plus 190, I believe.
I think that's a good wager.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I mean,
I think there are other teams that can do it, obviously. But
you know what's funny is that week 1 will determine that wager for us, I think.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I like that they're home.
So if they win week 1, they have a tiebreaker immediately.
Yep.
And they get the Chiefs, I believe, at home this season as well.
Yeah, and
the Bengals, they get the Bengals at home this season, the Eagles at home this season.
Yeah, and they get a bit of a rest advantage against the Chiefs too.
How their schedule. They get Carolina, Kansas City at home, Dolphins, Bucks, Houston, Steelers, Bengals, Patriots, Browns,
Eagles, Jets to end the season it's like, man.
And the Eagles at home too, by the way.
They're favored in every single game because their 3 toughest opponents are all home games. I think that the 1 seed makes sense. How about this one, Jeff? For Josh Allen, at some point, I do think they're going to start running him less. This year, James Cook is in a contract year. There's obviously been some tension about that. Like maybe, they try to sort of run him into the ground a little bit, which is, something that these teams obviously do. His rushing total is at 500.5 rushing yards. Last year, he had 530. What about the under there potentially?
So he had 122 attempts in 2021. And then 124, and then 111, 102. So it is going down.
Yeah.
That it feels like that's cutting it pretty close.
It does. It's not a great number.
And the value in that doesn't feel great. I will tell you guys, make sure you check back on these numbers around regular season kickoff, because what's going to happen is people are listening to this podcast and others, and they're going to hear 500. Look at 500 yards rushing, and they'll start hammering these overs, Matt. Because all that's been played are sharps hitting unders. That's all that's
Yep.
been happening right now. I have a whole list of wagers I've been given. I can't even play because they're 50 yards, 100 yards off from what a smart person got him at. A sharp person got him at. So if it was 525,
Yeah.
550, I'd probably be more inclined to play it, Matt. I know there's no rush attempts under. That obviously skews with Niels and whatnot. The thing that you could think about this is that what if they have the one seed locked up and he skips one game at the end of the season? You're going to get
Yeah,
under
that's
probably
true.
500.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll
It's
put it
not
down.
super.
I think
It's all right. I mean, here's another one to play the bigger angle we have here. Most regular season wins for Buffalo is plus 350. They are the favorite. But I do think of all the ways that's better than plus 190.
most regular season. So you're basically saying they're the best team in NFL.
Yeah, it's basically saying like the
And what
NFC
plus
has
what?
more good teams. They're plus 350. The
Yeah, I
Eagles
mean,
are plus 900 for that.
I could see the Eagles being I could see the Bills being 13-4.
Yeah, and like, that could be best.
Eagles being 12-5.
Yeah, the Chiefs,
Yeah.
like the top four are the
I'm
Bills,
not, yeah, the
Ravens,
Chiefs,
Eagles, and
Chiefs will win 11 or 12 as they normally do. Yeah.
Yeah, 49ers are fifth. What a joke. We'll get to the NFC West one day.
Well,
Um,
that actually might not be a bad wager with their schedule.
interesting.
We'll get to that another
Okay.
day.
Well, let's stick
All right.
here. We're good with Buffalo. We're not fading Buffalo. This is a team that I think everybody has a different opinion on. The New England Patriots, one of the league's worst teams last year. They brought in Mike Vrabel. Their win total is now at 8.5. Last year they were last 2 years they were 4-13. So that would be a huge jump. Plus 130 to make the playoffs, plus 475 to win the division. Are you a believer? Do you think this team is going to be like this year's Commanders? Okay, tell me.
Well, I mean, here's the reason why. I like Mike Vrabel as a coach. I don't think he's the coach that everyone wants him to be in this situation. He's much better than Mayo, what they had, but there's still a lot of pieces on this team that are not settled. Wide receiver for one, not great at the moment. Now, Stephon Diggs they added, but third team in 3 years, like that concerns me. Offensive line still again unsettled, right? They might end up playing two rookies on the left side. Tight ends, okay. I do like Trayvon Henderson, who they drafted. Defensively, that's been a good unit. They added Landry and some other pieces, Matt, but I just don't. I like to fade this type of hype.
Yeah.
I just think it's way too much hype right now. And so I'm just out on it.
I like that you're willing to go here. I mean, under 8.5 wins is plus 100. I think that's a pretty nice way to play it. I do think everyone's sort of just like rooting for this team to just turn it around. And, you look at their roster and it's like, yeah, they're professional. Like you look at their secondary, you're like, yeah, I know those names. Like, yep, they spent a lot of money on Milton Williams. They spent a lot of money, on Stephon Diggs, but like their offense, maybe Drake May is that guy, but like, I think we would know if he was quite honestly. So I don't mind playing this under. I don't have a ton of other like leans here. We could potentially fade Travion Henderson, who was in a committee in college. He's going to be in a committee this year. I think people are pretty high on him, but his rushing total is only 700 rushing yards. But yeah, I think them under 8.5 is probably how I'd play the Patriots.
Under 8.5 at plus 100 or miss the playoffs at 155. What do you like better?
Definitely the plus money. Definitely.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, I think. I mean, there's half the teams make the playoffs too.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, but here's the thing about the playoffs. I'm so fat. I need my air conditioning on all times while I talk. Sorry, I turned away for a second. Well, here's the thing. So in the AFC to make the playoffs, okay, they have to be probably better than like the Steelers and Bengals and the Broncos and Chargers, right? If we assume like the Chiefs win the division and then Houston wins the division and then like the Ravens and the Bills, right? Like, are they going to be better than those four teams? I think is just no.
Yeah.
They can win 9. They could win their 9th game in week 17 and the game doesn't matter. Like that's my concern.
Sure. But I don't know. Maybe 9 wins is enough to sneak into the playoffs. I wasn't it last year? Like, wasn't that what the Steelers were?
No, they had 10 wins.
We had 10. Yeah, well, we can do both. I mean, we can
I mean,
let's at least put them down.
I put them down. I mean, they're basically the same thing. So,
Yeah.
but player props, I don't. I mean, I guess Henderson under makes sense from what we've done in the past, but I just don't know how much they're going to. Actually, that would 750.5. We said,
Yeah.
or
No.
or like
7,
Stevenson under.
Yeah, Stevenson
So-
under 625.5 seems not bad.
All right, I'm gonna put that down then.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Okay.
Another team that we I think we're aligned on this one. People don't really know what to do with Miami. They have the next highest win
I
total.
do.
They are 7.5. They are plus 220 to make the playoffs, plus 900 to win the division. My goodness. Are you potentially buying that this team could turn it around? I mean, it wasn't that long ago that we all. Okay, go ahead.
No.
Tell me.
Under 7.5 wins. Just put it in Sharpie. It's just not a good team. So their left tackle retires, who was off hurt at times. I will give you that. Offensive line, huge question mark still, right? Patrick Paul might be okay left tackle, rookie left guard. Right side is just like, who knows? Tyreek Hill has to repair a relationship with remember all the stuff he did at the end of the last season? Like they're still talking about it. Like his relationship, is it repaired or not? Okay. The tight ends are Darren Waller, who retired, and then like Pharaoh Brown. I mean, okay, A-Chain, it's fine running back. And then what if Tua gets hurt again? That's it. Season over, right?
Yeah.
Defensively, brand new secondary. No one's left. Can they rush the passer on a consistent level? I don't know. I just think this team is trending way, way down. Also, heaven forbid they have to play a game in cold weather, buddy.
Yep.
If they play a game in cold weather, that's the end of it. So here's their schedule, right? End of the season, okay? At the Jets, Sunday, December 7th. At the Steelers on Monday, December 15th. At the Patriots, January 4th. So 3 cold weather games against 2 division opponents and the Steelers. Like, they're just... I just don't buy them. I'm very happy taking the under Dolphins 7.5.
Also, the advantage of playing in warm weather, where cold weather teams have to come down there. New England has traditionally struggled with that. Like week 17, they play Tampa at home, like they were down the street. So they lose that. They're underdogs in 11 games. Like they sneaky have like a bunch of tough teams on their schedule. Baltimore, obviously Buffalo twice. They have Washington in an international game. They lose a home game for that, which is a tough break for them. I think there's a lot of ways this can go wrong. Can I interest you, Geoff? If we're fading them, and I know you already have another wager in for this. How about fewest wins plus 2,000? Like if the bottom falls out with this team, like couldn't you see it just like getting super ugly? Like no offensive line, the Tua thing, the Tyreek thing. What do you think about that?
I don't think they're going to be plus 2,000.
Yeah, they have like the ninth best odds to be terrible. How do I phrase that? They're right behind the Colts at plus 1,700 and ahead of the Jags plus 2,800. Saints and Browns.
So the schedule, they're at Indianapolis week 1, New England at home. They have the Jets, the Panthers, the Browns, Falcons, Saints.
Yeah, their schedule allows them to compete.
I don't know if I just like their under. If we're gonna take and maybe like even any Tua props, I'm not even sure they put Tua numbers up because he could get hurt.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
Are there Tua? Yeah, DraftKings. Oh, they do. So 34.50.5 for Tua.
Yeah, I think you got to play that under. I think.
So what is it? 34.50.5. So he's over that twice in 22 and 23. Even when he only played 13 games in 23. But last year he played 11 games. I don't know if I love that number, but I just think they're not gonna be good, man. Mike McDaniel, first coach to be fired, is not up yet. Those numbers aren't up on DraftKings, but certainly something I would look at to play.
Yeah, me too. Okay, we're out on the Dolphins. We had a few different ways to play that. I think the Tua thing is a really nice way to look at that one. We're definitely taking their under. And then finally, a team that I have some mixed feelings about, the Jets. Their total 6.5 wins, plus 120 for the over, minus 145 for the under, plus 475 to make the playoffs, plus 1800 to win the division. DraftKings. I don't know. They're kind of a fun team. I feel like the pressure's not really on them after 2 years of being in a really weird situation.
Yeah.
What do you think? Could they be a surprise team with some good vibes, or do you think they need some more time?
I need more time. I think just Justin Fields is just not good. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of that simple, right? Like that's a
Yeah.
big part of it. He's just not good. Playing him under 25, 50.5 passing yards, I think is gotta be he is he was this is two of his numbers right here. I'm a Fields numbers. Okay. He has thrown over 2,500 yards in one season by 62 yards when he played 13 games in 2023.
Oof.
He just doesn't throw the ball a lot. Like I know Garrett Wilson is a better player than he's had anywhere he's been, but I don't think Fields is going to play all season. Like I don't, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like he's just not going to play all year. They're going to be like, all right, let's go somewhere else because we've kind of reached the max with Fields. The backup quarterback, by the way, is Tyrod Taylor. Like they just be like, all right, you throw the ball better, like you're in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't even know if that would necessarily make them worse. Might be a step up. Yeah, I don't think there's a play on their total because I think that's
No.
about right. I do think there's two player specific things I wanted to go over with you. Garrett Wilson, his receiving yards total is minus 120. I think it's over 925 and a half receiving yards at minus 120. He's gone over 1,000 every year in the league. Keep in mind, that's with Zach Wilson. That's with Trevor Siemian. Like he's never really had a good quarterback. And then last year when he did have Rodgers was feeding the ball to Devontae Adams to pad each other's stats the whole year. So I think that's an easy over. But I even like him over 1,500 yards. You can get that for plus 1,600. That seems crazy, considering the connection they have from OSU, and also like they paid him. There's not a lot of other guys there getting targets. Were we worried about Alan Lazard and Josh Reynolds taking those targets away? I think we can have a huge Garrett Wilson year, especially because they're going to be behind in a lot of games. You would think.
Well, we can't take Fields under and then Wilson over though, so we have to choose
Sure,
which
we
one
can.
like better.
Who else is catching the ball?
So Wilson's gonna get 55% of Fields passing yards this year.
Yeah. Seriously, who else are you worried about, dude? Like it's going to be the running backs, and it's going to be like it's those. I'm telling you, like that's the depth chart. Like there's somebody else who could.
Would they just double Wilson though? That's the problem. Yeah.
What doesn't like that didn't work with CD Lamb last year. Like
Wilson, it went over. You like him over 1,500.
I mean, I think that one for plus 1,600 is a pretty fun bet. But I do like just over 920 yards for minus 125.
Well, here's the thing: if he gets over 1,500 yards at plus 1,600, that means Fields is going over, and we'll make the money back.
Yeah, right. It's a good hedge.
Yeah, right. It's a good hedge on that, right? Like,
yeah.
We'll make more money back. I would imagine if we do the pricing right.
I will say too, like Wilson hasn't missed a game in his career. Last year,
very reliable.
154 targets. Like that number's going up, man. Like I think he's going to have a monster year. I think I just talked myself into him in every fantasy draft. Jeez.
I have a fantasy draft coming up soon. I'm so bad at fantasy. It's like,
do you want to join our guillotine league, Jeff? We're going to do a guillotine league here at Blue Duck.
What does that mean?
It's one of those where after when your team loses, your team becomes a free agent, and every week you go from 10 teams or whatever down to 2 teams in the last week, and it's winner take all.
Sure, I'm not good at it, but sure.
Okay, great. That's it. That's a binding contract. Jeff to lose interest in our fantasy league.
When is the draft?
Minus $5 million. Unclear. Stay tuned. We'll have to do it at some point. How about this one, Jeff? Last one for me here.
Okay.
Breece Hall. You noticed what's going on with him? Like he every day, like today we're recording this, he tweeted out something like "Time will tell." He keeps tweeting out how like all these weird cryptic things. It's his last year of his deal.
Under rushing.
Yeah, I don't think he's long for the Jets, and I think they think Braylon Allen is awesome. So I just have a feeling Breece is going to go under his 900 unless he gets traded to Dallas in like week 6, which I wouldn't rule out. But I'm just not a buyer in Breece Hall.
Yeah, he's been under that number in 2 of his 3 years. And yeah, I think you're right. Like they also didn't draft him. Like, there's no emotional tie to have to play him,
Correct.
especially if he's being emo over the internet about his playing time. So it feels like very much. I like that wager as well. So you want to recap what we have here?
Let's do it.
So I'm gonna throw we have Bills division minus 310. That's a maybe. Bills 1 seed plus 190. Most regular season wins for the Bills plus 350. New England missed the playoffs and New England under 8.5 wins. Stevenson under rushing, Miami under wins, and then for the Jets, we have Fields under, Wilson over the plus number, and Brees Hall under 900. We're gonna have to cut some of these out, I think, to make this work, Matt. We'll let you guys know via graphic, what we do here as we work our way. Again, we might spend $1,000 extra. We have $2,000 extra actually, 1,000 on the Bills to win the division.
This is why we don't do math on the show, Geoff. This is a betting show, not a math show. If you want a math show, I'm sure they're out there.
That's why, Hank, as we record this, by the way,
We're sponsored by DraftKings, not math.
There's preseason football on, which is exciting. So, we'll end with this.
Yeah.
I think we've taken the amount of breaks we have to take, and now we can just talk for a few minutes about life and football.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm going to give you a disclaimer at the preseason, everyone. Okay, just listen to this. Okay.
Yeah. Where's your camera? Look in your camera. Tell the people.
The preseason is all about the eye test, essentially, right? Does it look like it should? Okay. Now we're taping this on a different day. Okay. But that's just what the schedule works out the way it is. So there's a game on right now. Okay. And one of the starting quarterbacks for a team is going to play in this game against the backups on the other team. Okay. So I want to see that starting quarterback play well, because he should play well against the backups, right? Makes a lot of sense, right, Matt?
Yep.
If he doesn't play well against the backups, then the red flags go up. Why not? What's the reason why? If he plays well, you just check the box and move it along. Nothing to take away. Check the box, move it along. When Mahomes plays for the Chiefs, I think he's going to play. Plays well, check the box, move it along. That's all it is for the preseason. If a fifth string guy comes in and plays well, you take notice. Oh, that's better than it should look. Let's find out why. So, like, there's many different ways to view it, but that's the way I view it. Does it look like it should when the players are playing against the competition? They're either better than, they're less than, I guess. They're not as good, or they're even with, right? So how does it look? That's the way I look at the preseason.
Fair enough, man. But the question is, will you be betting it?
Oh, buddy, you only want to know. There is a lot of money on NFL preseason. So I work with a sharp guy, Bill Krakenberger, on the radio, Fox Sports Radio, and he made a lot of money in the NFL preseason last season, like 30 units ish. And so we hit it hard. I make my own wagers, and it's all about playing time, right? You just see who's playing, who's not playing. Pretty simple. So yes, I bet in the preseason. You knew the answer to that already.
Yeah, I ask you every year, and every year I'm more disappointed in your answer. Do not bet on the preseason unless you're a professional and a smart guy like Geoff.
Said starting quarterback is on the field now, so we'll see how this said starting quarterback does. I'm sure no one will have any opinions on it whatsoever.
Absolutely.
All right, Matt. Anything else, buddy?
No, I think we did it, man. We've got 2 more divisions. What are we doing next? North?
Sure.
All right, we're doing the North next week. Thanks again to DraftKings and Meadowlark. And Geoff, I'm honored to do this show with you for, I think, our 7th regular season. Let's win some money this year.
Buddy, we're going to win money this year. We're going to do more college as well this year, I believe. I'm very good at college. So that'd be a lot of fun to incorporate a little college into some of our shows as we get in the regular season. And we'll do a super contest as we normally do. We'll have 5 picks a week for the NFL. I'll give you my picks for college football. We'll keep track of those as we normally do. We're transparent. We'll tell you we win, lose, indifferent. We're going to tell you what we do. We're not hiding it from anybody. We've had good years and bad years and middle years. This is what it is. So welcome to this new journey. We're very glad you guys are here. If you haven't done it yet, as Matt mentioned, please subscribe. Very important to the success of this podcast. We really appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys next time. Take care, everybody.
See you, bud.